Hey, what's up, guys? This is James calling from Izmir, Turkey. I was in Egypt last month and I went to see the Giza pyramids and the Sphinx. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how I got there, some of the scams that you want to avoid, going into the pyramids and how that was like, and some things I wish I knew beforehand. So firstly, how I got there. So I got a private driver, and he was recommended to me by the hotel staff. And it seems to be a popular option for tourists is to just get a private driver. And I paid him about $25. And I also tipped him at the end too. I guess I didn't have to, but I kind of felt obligated to. And so he picked me up around 8 in the morning and he drove me to the Giza pyramids. And then afterwards, he took me to the Saqqara, which is another pyramid complex that's also pretty cool. And then he took me to Memphis, which is like, um, it's kind of like a small area, kind of like an open air museum. And it used to be like the first city in ancient Egypt or something like that. So for 25, $26, he takes you to three places and then he drives you back and to your hotel and he explains some things along the ways. So next I want to talk about some of the scams that you'll encounter while going to see the pyramids. The first scam was ironically delivered upon me by my private driver, and before taking me to the pyramid gate to get inside the pyramid complex, he actually took me nearby to like it was like a horse and camel stable, and I walked inside, and there was this guy trying to sell me like a camel ride up to the pyramids, and they were telling me, "Oh, it's such a long walk," and that turned out to be a lie. It's not. I mean, it's a long walk, but it's not as long as he said it would be. And he was trying to charge me like $80 for this camel ride up to the pyramids, and they would like show me an area where you could get a panoramic view and things like that. Um, so I said no to all of that, and as I kept saying no, the price kept dropping until it was like $40 or something, from 80 to like 40. But I said no. So that was the first scam to avoid. And then after that, my driver, I said, look, just tell me how to get in. I'm not trying to spend a lot of money. So he directed me towards I guess it was like the ticket booth outside of the pyramid complex, and I saw a line of people. So I walked over and I didn't really know what was going on, and then some guy came to me and he's like, "Hey, come here," and he helped me buy a ticket, and I didn't realize, but he actually helped me cut the line, and then he walked me inside, and then he asked for a tip. So I gave him a little bit, and he wasn't happy with it, and it was kind of unpleasant to experience that, especially because he was a government worker. He had like the government badge and everything. But so I got scammed on this part, and so the next scam to avoid was while you're walking up to the pyramids, you're like you got your phone out and you're taking pictures of the pyramids. There's some guys that'll start talking to you and they'll say, "Hey, you should do it like this. You should put your finger on top of the pyramid, and I'll take a picture of you." And that's the other scam. And I didn't fall for this one, luckily. Basically they try to take a picture of you with you doing that, and then they ask for a tip. So that's another scam to avoid. The other scam that is a little bit surprising is sometimes you go into like tombs around the pyramids, and then there will be a guy inside and he'll be like trying to explain things to people, and then he'll be trying to talk to you and explain the history to you, and then at the end of that he'll ask for a tip. So that's another thing that's kind of surprising, and a lot of these guys are actually government workers. At least it seems like it because they have a badge. Maybe they're not really government workers, but that's another thing that you'll see. I should probably talk about ticket prices. It's about $20 to enter the pyramid complex. But that doesn't let you go inside the pyramids. It just lets you like walk on the grounds, and that in itself is already pretty good. If you want to go inside the individual pyramids, you need to buy individual tickets for them, and a ticket for each one. Um, so the most expensive one is the Great Pyramid. That's like another $20. I opted for the second biggest pyramid, which was it was a lot cheaper. I think it was like $3 or $4 or something. And I did that because I heard that inside they're pretty much all the same. And then there are like some like I guess tombs around the pyramids that you can enter, and for those you also gotta like buy an individual ticket for. But all the other tickets are pretty cheap. So let's talk a little bit about the pyramids themselves. It's actually pretty cool to like walk around and see them, and you could take pictures. Anyway, so I get in line, and I probably waited about 20 minutes for the second biggest pyramid. And then it's basically you kind of go down into this tunnel, and you go down for a while, and you can't stand up. You have to kind of like stoop down a bit. And here's a tip: if you're a woman, you probably don't want to wear a skirt or a dress, because I probably saw some things that I wasn't supposed to see. But anyway, so you're going through this tunnel, and you're kind of like crouched down a bit, and it's a little bit hot and stuffy, and I wouldn't recommend it if you're like pregnant or like if you're claustrophobic. And then when you get through, you kind of end up in like a room inside the pyramid, and there's not much to see, to be honest. I think there was like a sarcophagus or something, but they had already removed all the stuff from the room before, and it's now in a museum. So if you want to see that stuff, it's in the museum and it's not in the pyramids. Getting in takes like I don't know, it took me maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. So and in the last part of this video, I want to talk about some things I wish I did differently. Um, so the first thing is I wish I didn't hire that private driver. For a couple reasons. I mean, I found out later that I could have just taken an Uber, and it would have cost me like $3 or $4 to get to Giza, and then $3 or $4 to get back to Cairo. It would have been cheaper that way. And even considering that this guy drove me also to Saqqara and Memphis, I think it would have been cheaper if I just paid for it myself without having to pay this guy. The other thing is with this private driver, like, he took me first to like a camel shop, which I didn't want to go to. And that was annoying. And not only did he take me there, but like after taking me to Giza, he took me to like a papyrus museum and then a carpet shop. And he explained to me it was part of his job and he had to do it. So I said, "All right, yeah, I guess I'll go along with it." But it was pretty annoying, and it was kind of a waste of time and for me. So that's another thing. And the other thing is there's kind of like a time constraint if you're doing it with the private driver, because like you have three places to go to in one day, so you kind of have to like budget your time carefully. And I felt a little bit rushed at times, like, oh, I can't stay at the pyramids too long because I still got to go to Saqqara, and I've already been here for 2.5 hours. So I think I wish I had just gone by myself and just spent one day at the Giza pyramids. And I think that would have been you know much more relaxed for me, and it would have been much better.